Okay, so this is the question we did halfway last time. We found the vertex. The blue one is the first inequality, right? We found the vertex to be 1.5, negative 0.25. So let's graph that one out. 1.5, negative 0.25, so here. And then we need points on each side, right? So let's plug 1 in. So Brendan, can you plug 1 in into the x?
Oh wait, no, I asked the question.
Yeah, I know. Oh, Aaron. Okay. So Aaron, you asked, right? Yeah, Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then can you plug in 1 into the blue equation? What do you have?
Is it 0?
Yeah.
Is it 0?
0. Okay. So the other side should be the same, right? It's symmetrical, right? So 2 will be 0. Okay. So we have 1, 0, and then we have 2, 0. This one opens up, right? Looks like it's opened up. If I plug in one more, right? Plug in 0, it will be 2. Okay, so here's our parabola. This one is solid line. Make sure I still find some of you forgot to check solid line, dash line. Okay. All right, so we do the same thing for the green one now. Okay, the green, we also found the vertex, right? Where's the vertex, Aaron? For the green.
Negative 1, 0.
Yep, so negative 1, 0. Let's get the other 2 points. Okay, so can you plug it in and tell me the value in the table?
The next one's 1.
1. Okay, so 1 and 1. And then?
And then 4.
4. Okay, so 4 and 4. All right, so pretty easy to plug. So 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Oh, wait, 0, 1. Yeah, up here. Here. 1, 4. Also solid, right? This one has equal, so solid. Okay, you finished the graph on your paper?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back and look at the blue one now. Now we need to decide whether it's where to shade. Okay, so we need a point that's not on the line. Okay, what point do you want to test?
0, 0.
Okay, yeah, 0, 0 is a good choice, right? It's not on either of the graph. So for the blue one, let's test 0, 0. When you test, where do you plug it in?
To the original equation.
Yeah, you plug into the question, right? Okay, so for the first blue one, plug in 0, 0, true or false?
False.
Because?
Because 0 isn't bigger or equal to.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so 0, 0 is false. Okay, well, just keep track. Now we look at the graph. If 0, 0 is false for the blue parabola, then should we shade the outside of parabola or inside the parabola?
Inside.
Yes, very good. Okay, so I'll just make a note, right? Use the arrow inside. Okay, now we'll go to the green one now. Plug it in, okay? And tell me if it's true or false.
It's false.
So because, again, why is it false?
0 isn't bigger or equal to 1.
So should we shade inside or outside?
Inside.
Inside, very good, okay. So now you imagine in your head, right, the bluish inside with the green inside. where is the part that's overlapping? Can you shade it on the screen? Yeah, there you go. So that's your answer. Okay? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just show the drawing. Let me clear that. Yeah, so you just shade everything inside. Okay, so that's your answer.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So factoring is on, oops. Factoring should be here. Okay, so factoring polynomial. So please turn to page 24. Okay, you learned about factoring before, and we've been using it for quadratic functions, right? Quadratic formulas, quadratic equations, right? Try to solve. So most of the part will be review about, I think 70% of the things inside is review. And also in here, it introduced some new methods for factoring, okay? So we'll just go through quickly what each method is called, all right? How many methods there are. So the first one is by GCF, greatest common factor, okay? And then factor by grouping, factor by formula, right? So that's number 3. Number 4, factor by cross multiply, right? Which you already been using it a lot. And then number 5 is factor by substitution. Okay, and then that's it. That's all the methods. So we'll go over one side and let you try the other side. Okay. So factor by GCF. Let's understand what it means by factoring. To factor a polynomial, right? Because you need to know when you should stop, right? When you can call it the answer. So when you factor the polynomial, you want to turn a polynomial into products. So like brackets, okay? So there shouldn't be any adding and subtracting between the brackets, okay? So it should be all multiplying. So like something like 5, right? Could be a constant, x plus 9, right? X squared minus 7. So these are all factors. So here we have 3 factors. So if you expand all the brackets, then it's not a factor anymore, okay? So factor by GCF you use when you start the question. You always check for GCF, something they all have in common that you can take out, right? And at the end of the questions, okay? When you finish the question, you double check again. Okay, start and finish of the question. Because sometimes at the beginning there's no GCF, but then after you factor it, you might have GCF again. Okay, later you'll have example like that. Okay, you'll see why it happens. Okay, so look at this one. 12x plus 3. Okay, what's the common factor we can take out? Colin?
3.
Yeah, so we can factor out 3. So taking out means dividing it, okay? Because if you take out outside, it's multiplying, right? 3 multiplied by a bracket. So if you take it out, you want to divide each of the term by 3. So 12x divided by 3, that will give you 4x. And then 3 divided by 3 will be 1. You can put a bracket around the 3 or not, it doesn't matter, okay? So let's look at B. Now you have, let's start with the numbers here, right? -8, -6, and 2. Okay, what's the GCF? Nathan?
2.
Yep, we can take 2 out. Now for marking, right, for checking the answers, in the answer key, they like to keep the inside, the first term positive. So if there's a negative in the front, you always take out the negative. So then the leftover doesn't have negative as the first term, okay? So taking 2 is a common factor, it's not wrong, okay? But just in the answer key, they always like to take out a negative if there's negative at the front. So take -2 out. Now you look at the variable, right? We have x here, right? We also have x here, we also have x there. So x should also be GCF. But because the lowest that we can take out from, the most we can take out from each one of them is x squared, right? So we take out square, right? We want the greatest, right? Greatest means the most. So now each of the term need to divide by our GCF. So this part is the GCF. Okay. So what's the leftover now? Yosher?
4x plus 3y squared, and then -1.
Very good. Okay, so that's it. And then make sure you double check, right? Because sometimes you might miss a number or might miss a variable. So you double check inside the bracket again, right? At the end of the question, you check again. Make sure there's no more common things that you missed. And then that's it, okay? So that's your answer. So I would like you guys to do question A to H, okay? A to H first. And then we'll check answers for each one, okay? So you can raise your hand when you finish A to H. And each one of you will get a chance to say out your answer, okay? So remember that question B, it has negative at the front. Make sure you take out the negative sign. Question E as well, right? Question H, whenever there's a negative at the front, take out the negative. Okay, most of you are almost done. Okay, let's start with Brennan. What's your answer for A?
I got 5xy times x.
Just X?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you can do to double check is if you multiply back in, do you get the original question back, right?
X plus 1.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember when you take out, it doesn't mean it disappear. It means you divide by it. Okay, so when you take 5xy divide by 5xy, it's still 1, right? It's not 0. Okay, very good. Next one, question B. Yosher, what's your answer?
-3 y the cubed,
Yeah,
z, and then bracket 5x² plus 3y z4.
excellent. Okay, anyone has question, you can ask me right away. Okay, you can stop me and I'll go over it. Okay, question C, Aaron.
4x multiplied by 3 subtract 2x plus 6x squared.
Okay. Yeah, looks right. Very good. Okay, Eric, question D.
I got 5x times bracket 2x squared minus 3x plus 1.
Yeah, so remember this one need to plus a 1. Okay. Question E. Colin, are you done? Question E.
Negative 5m bracket 5m squared plus 3mn minus n squared.
Plus 3 and minus
N squared.
n squared. Okay. All right. And Nathan, how about you? You done F?
I made a mistake on F, so I'm redoing it right now. I should be done in like 30 seconds.
Okay. All right. I'll ask Sarah. Can you tell me your answer for G?
6mn squared
6
times
and hold on.
squared
Mn squared. Yeah.
bracket mn. Oh, sorry. M squared
Okay. Wait. N
no m
m. Okay. M squared. Yeah.
plus 3mn
Mn. Yeah.
minus 2n bracket.
2n bracket. Okay, so let me quickly check that. 3 and yeah, looks right. Okay, if anyone got different, okay, you can let me know. Okay, 30 seconds up. Nathan, how's your F?
HA.
8a, yeah,
Yeah. And then brackets 3AB plus 2B take away 1.
plus 2b take away 1. Okay, okay, good. Okay, we have one last one. Any volunteer for H? Anyone? Volunteer? Because everyone said it already. Come on. Now I'll be calling. Colin, what's your age?
4y minus 1 and then
H.
p plus q. Oh, the h?
Yeah, last one.
Oh, negative 11b bracket 3a minus 2c plus b.
Minus 2c plus b. Okay, looks about right. Okay, does anyone have questions about these 8 questions? Pretty easy, right? You've learned this before already, right? The next part is also part of GCF, but then it looks a bit different. Okay, you see they already have brackets. However, you don't consider them as factor, right? As you can see, it's not all multiplying, right? You have 5x, a plus b, but then there's a plus. So it's not factor. If that one is a multiply, then it's factored, right? You have a 3 multiplied by a plus b. So the first instinct most people do is they will start multiply everything in, right? Multiply in and then simplify. You could do that, right? But it takes a lot longer. So what else can we do instead? Anyone? Suggestions? How do we factor I? Well, those you
5x
already
plus 3 times a plus b.
said that again, Eric? Eric.
5x plus 3 times a plus b,
Okay, how did you come up with that?
because it's like the rule where if both the brackets, like both of the numbers in the or variables in the brackets are the same, then you can just take the ones on the outside and then put them into another
Okay.
bracket and then multiply them.
Okay, very good. Okay, so you can think of A plus B as one letter because GCF means you want to take out the thing that's common, right? So you can pretend A plus B is a letter like X, right? A plus B is an X, right? Just in your head. You don't need to draw it on your sheet, right? So you have 5, well, I shouldn't say X, right? Because it already has X. So 5X something else. Okay, let me change that. Okay, so just circle, okay? 5X circle plus 3 circle. So you have 2 circles to take out, right? So take out the red circle. So A plus B is the circle that you take out. The leftover is 5X plus 3. Now this time you need to have bracket around A plus B, because if you don't have the brackets, then only the B will multiply in, right? But you want to make sure your A plus B is together, right? As a circle, right? So that A plus B is one thing. So you need to have brackets around it, okay? So you just treat the bracket as a block and one single letter, and then you take it out, okay? But only if they are the same, all right? So let's look at question, okay, you can try J, okay? J should be pretty easy. When you finish J, you can raise your hand. All right, Brennan, what's your answer for J?
X minus 1 times 3m plus 5.
Any mistake here? Did I miss anything?
Oh, and the brackets around x minus 1.
Yeah, okay. Make sure you have the brackets. Otherwise, only the 1 is multiplying with the 3n plus 5, okay? It's the whole x minus 1 on the outside. Okay, for the next one, how about you guys try K and L? Okay, K and L is a little bit tricky. I'll let you guys try. The idea is similar, but we'll go over if any one of you have a mistake, okay? So when you finish K and L, you can raise your hand again. Even if you're not sure, right, make a guess, right? Just try it out first. It doesn't matter you get it right or wrong, right? It's at least you tried it. That's the point. Just write down whatever you think should be the answer, okay? Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Okay, Nathan, you got it? Yeah, okay, so how about Yosher? What's your answer for K?
K 7x plus 3 and then bracket 7x plus 3 bracket and then bracket m minus 4.
Okay, anyone else got something different? Aaron, how about you?
I got the same thing.
The same thing? Brennan?
Yeah, I got the same thing.
Okay, does anyone need me to explain? Okay. No one? Well, for the people who's not in the class watching video, I will still explain anyway, okay? So over here, the n minus 4 and 4 minus n, okay? Even though they are the same letter, but they are actually different, right? Because like think about 2 minus 3, 3 minus 2 is different answer, right? If it's adding, it doesn't matter the order, but if it's subtracting, if they swap around, you should consider them as different, okay? So because they are different, you cannot just take it out yet. So for this one, you need to rewrite it, okay? So you need to make sure the signs are the same. For the m, right? First bracket, the m is positive, but for the second one, it's negative m. So the sign is different. For the 4 is negative 4 for the first one, but then positive 4 for the second one, right? So the signs are opposite. So your first step, you should try to rewrite it so then their sign matches. So to do that, we just change the sign on the outside. Okay, change the negative 3 into positive 3. So the inside will be negative 4 and plus 4, plus m. So think about if you multiply back in, right? If you multiply, it's like I take the negative. Okay, let me circle this, right? This minus sign in the middle. You take the negative and then multiply into each one of them. So then the outside will become positive and inside will change sign. Okay, that's one way to think of it. Or you can think about you take a negative out from the inside, either way, okay? So in the future, you just remember that you can change the sign at the front, then the inside bracket will change sign. So now if you match the sign, right? M is positive, 4 is negative, 4 is negative. So those two brackets are the same now, okay? So you can take it out. You can write it as m plus 4, m minus 4. Okay, let me erase here. Right, pick the n minus 4 and then the leftover is 7x plus 3. Okay, last one, question L. Aaron, what's your answer for L?
Bracket 4y
4y,
subtract 1 and bracket another bracket.
yeah. What is it?
P plus q.
Okay, p plus q. Okay, so the little tricky part is there's an invisible one, okay? They didn't need to show this. So when you take out p plus q, right, you are left with 4y minus 1. Okay, so that's our first method, okay, by GCF. Sometimes the GCF is just a letter or a variable number, right, constant. Sometimes it could appear in brackets as GCF, all right? Next method, we'll do one more method before the break, okay? So factor by grouping. So you will use this when there are either 4, okay, there are 4 or more terms. Okay, so of course it's always after you check GCF. Remember GCF is when you start the question, when you finish the question, and double check, right? So after you did the GCF, then you see, oh, the leftover has 4 or more terms. Then you try to do the grouping. Okay. So for example, over here, right, we look at AC, BC, AD, BD. There's no common letter, right, for anything. So we can divide them into groups, okay? Divide them into groups that has GCF in their little groups. So how do you want to group them? Any choice? Which ones you want to put together? Nathan, how about you pick them? Which ones do you want to group together?
You could do like AC and BC because you could get rid of the C's, and you could do AD and BD because you get rid of the D's.
Okay, so I'll just underline that, right? Since they're already in the position next to each other, so just leave it the way they are. So AC and BC, we can take C out, right? GCF, right? Pretend you don't see the back part. So take C out, you're left with A plus B. And then for the red, right? Now you focus on the red part. We can take out the D, right? So you can write D. You're left with A plus B. Okay, is there any mistake over here so far? The way I write it.
You could like combine the A plus B's together, so it's like A plus B and then C plus D.
Okay, but my question is there any mistake in the writing that I did here?
No, nope.
No mistake. Anyone else? Anyone recognize? Yeah, Sarah?
The addition sign.
Yes, okay, there should be an addition sign, okay? If I miss an addition sign over here, right? If there's no addition sign, then we are done. It's already, okay? But because the blue and the red, they are separated by the adding, you have to keep the adding, okay? That's why I mentioned this. A lot of people make the same mistake. You take out the D and then everything is all multiplying together, okay? So if you compare this question with this one, question I, right? You see there's an adding, okay? That's why the leftover will be 5x plus 3. Otherwise, if there's no adding, then you cannot have the plus 3. Make sense? Okay, so remember, when you show the step, you must keep the adding sign, all right? Now you have the A plus B is the common block, so you take it out. And then the leftover will be C plus, right? You see the green, right? D. Okay, so question B. Any questions so far? Okay, question B. What's your suggestion? How do we start this? It already has brackets. You check for GCF, there's no common thing we can take out, okay? What do we do? Anybody? How do we start? Colin? How do you want to start this question?
Can you group A, B, and then A squared plus B squared?
Right now, we couldn't group them because they are all attached to other things. Like A squared plus B squared is attached with the XY, right? You can only group them, like over here, we can group them because A, C, B, C, they are all separated by adding, so it's okay to move them around, right? Move them to different places, rearrange the order. But right now, if it's multiplying, they are all stuck. So what should we do now?
And it.
Expand it. Okay, yeah, good. So we need to break them apart first, right? Right now they're all stuck together with multiplying. So multiply in, okay, expand. Okay, I'll write it here, expand. Okay, when you finish expanding, please raise your hand. All right, Aaron, what's your expansion look like?
ABX squared plus ABY squared subtract A squared XY subtract B squared XY.
Okay, thank you. Let me rewrite this. Okay. Right, so that's our expansion, right? So now you can see we have 4 terms. And we are able to move them around in any order we like, okay? So of course, the first two you cannot group those two, because if you do that, you'll go back to the equation again, right? So you want to group other ones together. So what's your choice? How do you want to group them? Which ones do you want to put together? Anyone wants to try? Which ones? Brennan, what's your pick?
I don't really know.
Now pick random one. We'll try it out, right? That's how we figure out whether it works or not. We gotta try.
Okay, ABX squared and A squared XY.
Okay. So remember, when you move them, group them, you have to carry the sign. So negative A squared XY. Okay. Otherwise, the negative is just left alone there. Okay. Nowhere to go. So if we choose those two, that means the other group will be ABY squared and negative B squared XY. Okay. Remember, when you pick the terms, you have to include the sign. To make things look easier, we're gonna rearrange the order, okay? The blue one, I'll put them together next to each other. Okay, and then the red one, I'll write it together. Okay, because we're grouping them. So this is the red one. This is the blue one. Okay, so now you look at each group. See if there's any GCF that you can take out. Okay, so after you take F, you can raise your hand. For the blue group, take out the GCF. For the red group, take out the GCF. So over here, I'll write it out here. Rearrange. Okay, rearrange the order. And then we take GCF out. Rick, what did you take out for blue? Eric, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what did you take out for the blue group?
I took out AX.
AX, okay. What's left then?
B, X, and A squared Y. Or not AY.
Plus or minus, you have to tell me the sign. Plus or minus?
I think it's minus because
Minus AY, right?
yeah.
Okay. Right, now for the blue one, no, for the red one, has anyone finished? Okay, raise your hand if you finished taking out the GCF for the red. All right, Yosher, what did you take out?
Plus by, and then bracket ay minus bx.
AY minus BX, okay. Yep, very good, right? BY, take out BY, then you're left with AY and BX. Right, so now you look at this one, right? You have inside the brackets, we have BX minus AY, the other one is AY minus BX. Are they the same, Nathan?
No.
Okay, so, but they are close, right? What can we
Yeah.
do? What can we do now? Can we somehow make them the same?
No.
Think about what with the last page, right? We had a similar one.
Like you could,
Right, like question K, you can make a start here.
you like take the sign and you multiply it.
You change the sign on the outside,
Yeah.
and then at the same time you change the sign on the inside.
Yeah.
Okay, it balances out the sign. Okay, so over here, if we do the same thing, okay, the first part, it doesn't need to change. Okay, now what should we do for the second part?
Change the positive to a negative.
So minus by, right?
Yeah, and then when you try to change it inside, do you multiply the positive inside so it's like ay plus by?
No, you will
Or do
change.
you multiply the
You change the sign on the inside. So you change the outside to positive, right? Become minus, right? And then each of
negative
on the inside, you also change negative to positive.
negative ay?
Yeah, negative
So
AY.
negative ay plus
Mm-hmm.
bx.
Yeah, plus BX. You can double check that they are the same or not, right? You can multiply in, right? If you, the first, right? This is the before the change, right? This is the after the change. You can multiply in, and then you can check if they end up the same thing. Okay, if they are the same, then you are doing it okay. You are not changing the question, right? You just want to rewrite it so then your brackets are the same. Okay, for both brackets. Anyone has question about this? Okay, so if you check the sign on the inside, right? BX is positive for both brackets. AY is negative for both, right? So now those two brackets are the same. Right, so we can finally write out our answer, okay? So equals. Okay, when you got the final answer, you can raise your hand. How do you write out the final answer? Raise your hand if you have the final answer. Okay, Colin, what's the final answer now?
AX minus BY, and then
Bx.
minus
Can you say that one more time? Sorry, I didn't catch you.
X minus Y.
One more time.
AX minus BY.
Oh, bx minus by. Wait.
I said AX.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, ax. Yeah, ax minus by, and then
And then BX minus AY.
bx minus ay. Okay. So the green thing is the bx minus ay then, right? All right, so that's our final answer, right? So you turned from something that's not factored into something that's factored, okay? So it takes, first you expand so you are able to rearrange them, right? And then you take out GCF, but then because the brackets are opposite signs, so you gotta change the sign. And then you take out GCF again, okay? So this one is sort of combining what we learned in GCF and grouping together. Let's have a break, okay? So I'll see you at 11:20, okay? If you have any question, you can stay during the break. See you later.